All right, it is time once again to spin the wheel of problematic to determine what random topic is problematic this week. Nate, would you do the honors, sir?
Yes, thought you'd never ask. Here we go. Huh. It landed on actors.
What?
Prophecy foretells of a podcast so stunning, so brave, that it could only ever go by one name. A show so woke that it became its own gender. A show so hot that we'll understand if it turns you gay. You're listening to Stunning and Brave with Chris Cowan and Nate Henderson.
Boom, kapow, poosh. You are listening to Stunning and Brave with Chris and Nate. I am Chris.
I'm Nate. Hello.
Welcome to another rousing episode, sometimes even arousing episode.
It depends on the subject, really.
Especially if you're watching the video podcast on our YouTube channel, because
oh yeah,
I mean, I'll be darned if Nate isn't just a big pile of sexy.
Yeah, well, I'm wearing a shirt this time, so
yes, yeah.
Sorry, all you
good.
viewers at home.
Yeah, because if the level of woke doesn't turn you gay, Nate will. Just one look into his deep, beautiful, mesmerizing eyes, and you're lost forever.
Oh, you're making me blush.
You just need a map to get out of those eyes, because
my cheeks are red. So's my face.
So's my. Never mind. So we are Stunning and Brave. This is the wokest show on the internet, guaranteed. And we are so progressive, so woke, that honestly, you should just cower before us right now. Just grovel and virtue signal. It will all be in vain, but it will still be appreciated.
I always like to see what angle you take the intro every week, because you somehow manage to approach it from a lot of different angles. This time is kind of like we're like all sovereign, all overseer in our wokeness, which I like that angle. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, that is kind of, there is as much as woke pretends to be socialist, really there's always a hierarchy to it. And the hierarchy is who can virtue signal, the most wokeness possible. And I think having an entire podcast, an ongoing podcast dedicated to being this woke, firmly establishes us as elite. And when the revolution is over and the dust settles, and all the proletariats are groveling and working in the communist factories, pretending that they own a piece of their labor, we will be the rich elite, ruling class, government officials, and as it should be, as history shows us, that's how socialism works.
That's right.
10 times out of 10. And, I think
our grandkids will be asking us, Grandpa, where were you when the woke wars began? I remember the woke wars.
I was sitting in my $1 million government-sponsored mansion.
Yep. Everybody got one.
Sipping a daiquiri while Rome was in flames.
Yep. Meanwhile, the dollar was worth nothing.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. So $1 million really, San Francisco's a good example of what $1 million gets you.
It's
basically a
little flat
4x4 studio apartment, maybe with a urinal.
Maybe. Let's not push it.
Yeah. But this is Stunning and Brave. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Don't say we're not spiritual, because I just spoke in tongues.
Yeah. That was impressive.
So hopefully I'm not going to get smited for that joke. Smitten.
And it's continuing
for that joke. I like the sound of smitten.
Smitten.
You always hear about God smiting people, but what about God being smitten with people?
Boy, that sounds like a bad greeting card.
That's the gospel right there. That's the gospel if you think about it.
Oh, okay. You're getting.
For God was so smitten with the world, that he gave us. It works. It works.
Way to dive deep, Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Yeah, that's what I do. All right. Well, we like to start off each show with a bit of a cleansing that we call
Check Your Privilege.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. We are going to do a privilege check, as all woke people know, especially any white heterosexual cisgender males. You always got to check your privilege. And then obviously there's no unlike the gospel, there is no redemption for your privilege. You just have to grovel and apologize and feel bad about it and let the guilt hang on you.
Mm-hmm. And ironically, in this religion, the more you apologize, the more you get blamed. So
it's true. It always amazes me that people still apologize.
Haven't people caught on by now?
I know. It amazes me that people still apologize when cancel culture comes after them, because it is never enough.
Mm-mm.
It is never enough. The best thing you can do when people come after you is just be like, I disagree with you,
Yep.
I'm sorry that you are offended, but I'm not sorry that I offended you. So Move on. That's what you got to do.
Well, they're gonna come after you anyways. So you can either stand by your principles and stand for what you truly believe, right, and get attacked, or you can grovel, and lie about what your intentions were and still get attacked even more.
Yeah, it's hilarious because this actually, something like that, I mean, it happens every day, and it happened just today. I saw it. I'd have to see if I can find it real quick. But basically, there's the Associated Press. I cannot talk today. The Associated Press. The Associated Press has a Twitter account specifically for its just to kind of outline its what would you call it? It's writing style, or
okay, yeah.
It's kind of expectations for how the articles should be formatted and what kind of verbiage is preferable and that kind of thing. And so they tweeted out that they don't want people to, if they're referring to the woman who is having an affair with a married man, they're saying don't use the word mistress. Use a different
use the word slut.
Right. Use a different term like lover or something like that. Not mistress. Use lover or something like that, because mistress implies that the woman is somehow solely responsible for the affair. I'm not quite sure of the logic in that. And then they got a bunch of tweets replying to it, saying that the terms that they were suggesting as replacements were
not
still insufficient. And so then they tweeted another kind of apology, being like, "Hey, this is a rule that we came up with about a year ago.
There's your mistake.
Still
right
evaluating it, and it's just like, it's such a great example of you cannot satisfy anyone." You cannot use basic English to describe things anymore, because that's offensive. So you have to either reappropriate words and give it a completely new definition to the exclusion of its previous definition, or you just have to make up words like wumpsin instead of woman and Latinx.
There is not enough sustenance to satiate the woke monster.
Yeah.
There's just, you can't feed it enough.
But that's not going to stop us from trying, so that's what we're going to do in our privilege check today. Nate, why don't you kick us off? What is your confessional?
I don't know if you heard, but a happiest place on earth is going to be opening soon.
Oh, golly.
And so since my family, my parents have just taken the liberty of reserving a vacation destination for the summer,
Nice.
that just happens to be in Anaheim.
Oh yeah.
Now I get to decide if we want to drop an obscene amount of money for a neutered Disney experience.
Right.
And
that's the one where you get to actually watch them take Mickey Mouse out back and basically spay him.
Yeah, what they do is they point at him and they say, he has not been vaccinated, kids. Oh. So he's obviously carrying COVID-19. And then they have a couple guys come out with flamethrowers and just char him on the spot in front of all the kids. Yeah, well, it's kind of like Disney's push to encourage vaccination. So, yeah.
Well, at some point, it's gonna at some point it's gonna come to that. Because if you think about like all the historical names that have been eliminated and all the statues that have been pulled down,
yeah, it's true.
You know, I mean, there's already plenty of people who are like Disney's problematic, Mickey's problematic. Mm-hmm. You know, at some point, Disney's gonna have to just go full woke and tear down the statue of Walt and Mickey holding hands.
I was gonna say, that statue right in the center of the I guess the end of Main Street. I cannot believe that they have not gotten flack for that yet. Like it's coming. You are so right. Like that's gonna be the next thing.
You know, because they're gonna be like Disney was anti-Semitic and Mickey is blackface. So tear it down.
Mickey was blackface. And it's gonna. And you know what it's gonna be? It's gonna be some vlogger like from a Disney site that's like, "Hey everybody, I'm just hanging out here on Main Street, having myself an ice cream cone. Oh my gosh, is that statue still up?" And then they're gonna go to corporate and complain. They're gonna be like, "Do you know how many likes I have on my Twitter profile? Yeah, you need to take the statue down like right now, like right now." I don't even know who Walt Disney is, but I bet he's bad. Because he lived back in the bad years.
Yes, nobody back then was, no one was good. No, not one.
That's right. No, not one.
It's funny. Did you actually hear that Disney laxed their rules in terms of what employees can?
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So
you hear about that?
Not only are we paying even more money, but we can be assured that all the employees there are going to be just a couple notches down on the professionalism type thing. Just a few notches down from the standards that the Walt Disney Company has always set for their employees, which makes it kind of a fantastical, charming place to go to. But now don't worry about it. If you're covered in tats, if you got your nose rings or whatever, just go ahead and sell a churro to my kid. That's awesome.
They're now allowing tattoos to show. They're not. They used to have separate haircut standards for the men and women, and now they don't make any distinction there.
I mean, because they used to be, they were notorious for being like just hardcore, rigid standards about their dress code. Shoot, I don't even think they let people have beards until about like 10 years ago, somewhere in there. Yeah. Until then, you had to be clean shaven. So the fact that they're dropping the standards down even a couple more notches now will.
Well, and I love that like the explanation Bob Iger gave, CEO of Disney, was that one, it was for the customers, because he wants the customers to feel more like comfortable for some reason, like feel like they're more represented or whatever, which, okay, fine, I get that. But then he's like, and I want the employees to be able to like, bring their real selves and be who they be themselves at Disneyland. And I'm like,
that's dangerous.
Have you ever been to Disneyland? That is the exact opposite of why anyone goes to Disneyland.
Right.
If I want people who are themselves and all like okay, tattoos don't bother me, but just like
tattoos don't bother me either.
Tatted up, shaggy haired dude. Yeah. I'll go to Six Flags. You go to Disneyland to escape from the world. To it's supposed to be a fantasy. Nobody goes there to be like, yeah, I want real people there. No, you freaking want Mickey Mouse and a barbershop quartet.
I'm purposefully gonna skip throwing a quarter in the magic well so a tatted up biker Snow White will flip me the bird.
Right.
Thanks for coming, burn in hell.
Yeah, I'm surprised they still have any like body type standards for the princesses. You know that's coming next. They're gonna be like,
oh my gosh, that's
so you're not gonna tell this 500-pound, 7-foot tall behemoth that he/she/they does not get to play Snow White? Excuse me, that is fat phobic, transphobic, and every kind of phobic I can think of off the top of my head.
Dude, you joke about it, but you know it's going to be the case 5 years from now.
I know it's going to be the case. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. And that's why satire is so hard these days.
It really is. You're just predicting the future.
You make a joke and it's true the next day. And it's like, well, crap, there goes my joke. Reality keeps stealing jokes from the comedians. It's the worst.
That's so true. So, so, we got to family's got to make a decision on whether or not we want to fork out the big bucks so we can wear masks all day and
don't
have reduced hours and all that other fun stuff.
Don't pretend the decision hasn't already been made.
It has.
Yeah. Don't pretend. Don't be coy with me, Mr. Henderson.
Look, tickets go on sale tomorrow morning, okay? I've got my alerts and everything. I'm good to
go. Yeah. I figured. Well, because you tried twice last year, right?
Both because of COVID and just the fact that Disneyland was closed were abysmal failures. So
the first time was probably because you got COVID.
I think that might have been because of that was a pretty legitimate reason, So
yeah, nice. Well,
so anyway, I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, we've definitely thought about trying to get in there soon. Although my first thought was like, well, I don't want to go when everybody's crowding in to get back in. And then I remembered, oh, wait, there won't be crowds theoretically because of 35% population limits.
35% capacity.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So there's going to be a huge waiting list.
It might be the only nice time to go now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Won't be packed wall to wall. So anyway.
It's going to put all those immigrants who are trying to get into the country legally, be like, how long have you been waiting? 10 years. 10 years for your American citizenship? No, just to get into Disneyland, the waiting list.
Disneyland. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to set aside 5% of that block just for any migrants that want to come to Disneyland for the day.
Right.
They'll get special privileges.
Nice. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
I'm sure that'll be plenty of fun. And
don't patronize me.
Yeah. I wonder if they're how far are they going to take it? Are they going to put fake masks on Pluto and Goofy?
Oh, they freaking better not, man.
How lame would that be?
No, we're not. You're not even allowed to. That's the thing. Kids aren't even allowed to go up to the characters. You have to just take pictures from afar.
What?
Yeah.
You can't just go up to Mickey and then just hazmat suited or something, just spray you down.
I technically I could dress in my level A hazmat suit and give Mickey a big hug, but no, I think they're just supposed to wave. I think that's all they do. And then
I bet they don't even let you jump out of the raft and go swimming in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride anymore either.
I'm pretty sure that was never allowed, but you'll have to let me know how that story went.
Okay, well. It was not as deep as I expected. I don't recommend diving into those waters.
Got your ankle crushed by a passing boat.
Yeah. Jack Sparrow was looking at me funny. I don't know.
So what's going on with you?
Well, so right before we were scheduled to podcast tonight, my wife was like, "Hey, we need the car wash. It's super dirty." And could you take it into the car wash that's just down the road? So I'm like, oh, yeah.
What time of day was this?
Oh, this was like, I don't know, 7 p.m. or something, 7:30 p.m.,
Okay.
something like that. So, so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. That's fine. I guess it just rained, and so it got dirty or whatever. So I'm like, and for some reason, the kids are going with me on this trip. I don't know why, but that's just what's happening. So
gonna give her 15 whole minutes of silence.
We're walking out the door, and Connor, my youngest, is like, okay, but can I just wash the car? And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, can we just oh, we're going to a car wash? I thought we were just like gonna wash the car here.
Oh, he was looking for a good old homemade hand wash.
I'm like, no, I think we're just gonna we're just gonna go through the car wash real quick. I don't really have time to wash it. Yeah,
Daddy's exhausted.
In here,
he's gonna pay $10 to make it all happen.
Yeah, and so we're like still walking out the door, and he's like, "Oh, I just really wanted to wash it," and I'm like, "Oh, well, crap! I'm not gonna tell my kid who wants to wash the car." No, son, you can't wash the car.
Just a totally blown bonding moment.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, yeah, you really want to wash the car? You can wash the car. Please. I'm like, I don't have time for that, so I'm not gonna.
Please,
so,
yeah,
it worked out great for me. Saved me a trip.
Wait a minute, you didn't do it with him?
Hell's no.
I thought you were going to say that you had like this really great time as father and son washing the car.
No, but you know who did get sucked into it? Here's the sad part.
Dude, you are savage, man.
I legitimately did not have time to do a car wash, like get all soapy and wet and do all that. Like, no, I'm not. If I'm involved, here's the thing. My strategy for all the things in life
is so great. I'm sorry, continue.
My strategy in life is delegate as much as I can.
Delegate.
If it involves any work of any kind, throw money at it.
Okay.
And so that's just how I go through life.
That's how you roll. That's why you make the bucks.
You might not be Dave Ramsey approved, but it's what
I'm picturing right now is you walking up to Connor with like a bucket of soapy water and a sponge and just saying, "Let me know when it's done, son." And then meanwhile in his head he just hears, "And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon."
No, but he was just gung-ho to do it, and I'm like, that's great. If you want to do that, I think that's awesome. Do it, son. I love that.
And I will be having a drink inside, occasionally looking through the window and seeing your progress.
Guaranteed in 4 years or less, he is not gonna be so enthusiastic about it. But
okay, so you're planning on just making him the car wash kid until he finally realizes, oh man, I'm getting the short end of the straw on this one.
Yeah. I mean, we'll pay him. But here's the thing. Here's where the other shoe drops a little bit, because so I'm out. I'm just like, that's great. Here's the supplies. You're good. Go for it. I think that's awesome. I love that you want to do that. Totally encouraging and that kind of thing.
Right.
But then he's like, oh, and can Mason help me?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And I was of the mind of like, I'm like, well, you're the one. I appreciate that you're wanting to show initiative and all that, but like, you're the one wanting to do it. So I probably wouldn't have made his older brother do it, because up until that point, we were just all going to ride through the easy peasy car wash.
This has become one big thing.
Yeah. But my wife was of a different mind, and she was like, oh yeah. Mason will help you. And so poor Mason, my heart goes out to him, because that's like in grade school when class is wrapping up and there's that one student who's
there's always one.
hey, teacher, you forgot to give us the homework. Or, hey, teacher, didn't you say we had a pop quiz today? Or
followed by a hand slap from a classmate.
Right.
Yep.
And poor Mason, Connor is that guy, apparently, who just asks for the homework. And that's great. Go for it. You're going to go far in life. But then poor Mason gets stuck with the wash rag, and he somehow winds up washing the car.
Now, did Connor
because of his brother's brilliant initiative?
Did Connor know that by doing this, by washing the car, that he was gonna get paid, or did he just offer like, "Hey, that might be a fun thing to do"?
He just offered. He was just like, I want to do that. He is such a go-getter.
So
anything hands-on, he loves to do.
So when he asked Mason if Mason could help out, it wasn't even just like a diabolical, like, then the work will get cut in half and I'll still get paid.
No.
Nice.
He was not. Pay was not mentioned until after the job was done. Yeah,
wasn't even a factor. All right.
After the job was done, we're like, all right, we'll inspect it and we'll pay you guys.
We'll inspect
a little something. So I haven't actually seen it since it got washed and stuff, but.
It's hard to tell how good a job they do when you're inspecting it at 8:00.
Right. Exactly. So,
tomorrow
we'll
you're
check
gonna
it
go
tomorrow.
out to tomorrow you're gonna go out to the car. There's just gonna be just soap streaks everywhere.
Right. Yeah. It's probably terrible. We'll probably end up having to take it through the car wash.
Anyway.
And then, how tragic would that be for Mason? How messed up would that be? He didn't want to do it in the first place.
No, he didn't.
We had no intention of making him do it until his brother opens up his big mouth and he gets dragged into it. And then how lame would that be if after all of that, it's not even good enough?
Not even good enough.
No, you don't even get paid. We have to take it through the car wash anyway.
I think if you inspect it tomorrow and you notice that the job was not well done, you don't say a thing. You just act like, okay, I'm gonna go get some grocery and just take it to the car wash and just don't say a word this time around.
Yeah.
It's not even worth it.
Oh my gosh.
Man. Well, Mason's a good brother. Good brother. I remember getting roped into things when I was a kid with my siblings too.
I know.
But a lot of times I was probably doing the roping, but every now and then I definitely get roped. So.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. It's like, man, I want to encourage that, but also I just feel bad for, I totally empathize with Mason on that. So, all right, well, let's, oh wait, no, you had something you were gonna talk about. We didn't get to.
It's not that big a deal, but okay. So I've been working at home for over a year now. Yeah. And I've got my office at my work, my office phone, forwards any voicemails I get to my email. Mm-hmm. So I got a voicemail emailed to me that I've never gotten before. Is 4 seconds long. And I just wonder, I need you to help me guess what the initial reason for the voicemail was. Like, okay, so if you have it, if you just want to play
it queued up. Okay. I've not heard this yet.
4 seconds long.
All right, let's hear it.
Sorry, you did not reveal yourself to be human. Goodbye.
What the heck is that? One more time, please.
Sorry, you did not reveal yourself to be human. Goodbye.
I sat there in silence, just wondering what the heck that is, and what are they trying to determine? Do they need a human voice to answer? And because something didn't answer, then you get this auto response. What was the purpose of that call, Cowan? I need to know.
Well, I think it was to determine whether you were human or not. And you, Nate,
I failed.
You flunked.
I flunked.
You failed.
I flunked the test. I feel like this is some bad sci-fi movie, like AI is born on
Okay.
April 12th, 2021, and they're like, you know what? There still might be some hope before we take over all of humanity. Let's random call one number
Right.
and just get in a conversation with that person.
Right.
And if he can have a good conversation with us as robots, we won't take over the earth. And sure enough, I wasn't there for the call, and that was the voicemail that they left. And now we're all screwed.
I'm wondering if this is from like some kind of conspiracy theory organization where they're like going around calling people trying to determine, are you like one of those lizard people or are you like an actual human? Right. And unfortunately, Nate, I'm a little, you're a little sus now because you did not reveal yourself to be human. So I can only conclude you are in fact a lizard person.
I've always wondered that myself, to be honest.
Yeah, well, and it's answered. So, I mean, to me, I think it must, obviously, it is some kind of robocall where they were like waiting to, somehow they have some kind of system where they will like determine, okay, based on your response to their initial call, okay, this sounds like a human answering as opposed to like leave a message at the beep kind of thing.
Do they call a lot of robots? Like, what's happening? Like,
I don't. Well,
why wouldn't you be calling a number that you're expecting a human voice to pick up on?
Right. Well, I mean, I guess so. If you're anticipating the voice message, like leave a message at the beep, whatever, like that's probably what it was anticipating, right? It was anticipating you've called Nate, and leave a message.
Exactly. I'm an
but what
idiot.
I don't
leave a message.
What I don't understand is why they then feel the need to tell the non-human.
That's what set it apart, because 99 out of 100 calls, the call will just drop and there'll be silence and there's no message left. But this time, it's almost as if the sales call that was giving me a call got just pissed and said, you know what? You failed to reveal yourself as a human. Bye. Right. You're not even worth talking to.
I know. Well, I kind of low key love that response, and I want to find more ways to fit that into my life because, like, how many times does that come up? Like especially like if you're just like dealing with someone who's like just so like ignorant or just like so like uninterested in any like rational like conversation.
That's a good point.
I just want to be like, hey, you know what?
Sorry, you did not reveal yourself to be human. Goodbye.
Like how much? That's a pretty dope mic drop, to be honest.
That is true. If you just said those words looking just straight faced at them and then just walk away, I'd love to see the reaction.
I think that's kind of awesome, honestly.
All right, there we go. So it turns out that's a pretty awesome rebuttal to any nonsense that somebody is sharing. So that like psycho ex-girlfriend or whatever. Like maybe like I want to like call that person up and just and just put that on their answering service and just be like, well, there we go. It's worth it. It was worth getting that message.
Maybe that were you the psycho ex-girlfriend, Nate? Maybe this was
I don't think we have to get into. I don't think we have to get into that now. So, how about that social net jerk?
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. All right, well, moving along.
The social net jerk.
Oh. All right, this is the part of the show where we peruse the social networks of the internet for people just kind of being silly and so silly. And we make fun of them. It's a pretty simple concept. It's time tested, tried and true, kid tested, mother approved. I don't know if that's true, but
we can't claim that.
All right. I'll take this first one. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's good.
So this is an ad that like pops up in your timeline. This was submitted by Jacob from our Stunning and Brave Autonomous Zone on which is a Facebook group for our elite listeners to join. So go ahead and join that if you haven't already, and you can be part of kind of the ongoing conversation. You can submit content for Social Net Jerk and that kind of thing. So Jacob shared this, and it's a guy. Basically, he looks like he's just standing out by himself in the middle of a cornfield.
That's exactly what it looks like, yes.
And he's wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine that picture for a moment. He's standing out by himself in the middle of a cornfield wearing a mask.
Oh, yeah.
By himself.
He's protecting the corn from COVID. He's doing his part.
And then the text is, "We can do this. Don't let your guard or your mask down." And it's an advertisement from the CD freaking C.
Yep. Oh, man. Well, they found the one farmer. They found the one farmer that's willing to wear a mask when they're out in the field doing work. Either that or he received a paycheck. Either that or he's not a farmer.
Can I just say, I am so disappointed in our dystopia's propaganda.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I was raised with 1984 and I don't know, BioShock and Hunger
Sure.
Games and all those dystopian universes, and you see all the like posters on the wall with their government propaganda, and it was so like cool and like, oh man, wow, what a cool edgy dystopia with all this propaganda. Our dystopia just has the worst propaganda. It's so disappointing.
They really do.
Like, how stupid are you to think that this is like gonna convince someone who is like, oh, I was gonna let my mask down a little bit. Oh, but oh my gosh, there's a farmer in the middle of a cornfield all by himself and he's wearing a mask.
Yep.
That seems like the sane thing to do.
I tell you,
that makes sense.
If a farmer can have that much dedication, then so can I.
Like, and you wonder why people are skeptical of the information that the CDC is giving us.
Right?
Like,
they've been so on the nose up till now.
Yes. Well, you better have it on the nose. Somebody they'll yell at you. But I love that. What my favorite thing about all of this is it used to be, it was the conspiracy theorists who were the ones who were, wearing the tinfoil hat.
Right.
And now, if you're not wearing the tinfoil hat, otherwise that's manifesting as a mask, then you're the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I love how it's like totally switched. Like 2 years ago, if anybody was just walking around like with a mask 24/7, you'd be like, that's a little weird. But now we have someone now if you're not wearing the mask, you're the conspiracy theorist. And it's a weird twist of reality to live in that.
Now you're a freak if you don't wear one. So
right. Yeah. And I mean, seriously, CDC, you wonder why people aren't taking you seriously. The freaking Johnson, I mean, everybody's been talking about it, so I don't want to like over belabor it, but the freaking Johnson & Johnson vaccine, they're like, oh my gosh, 6 people out of 7 million.
7 million.
Out of 7 million vaccinations, 6 people had blood clots. Ooh, let's stop everything.
Well, and it hasn't even been confirmed that the shots caused all of those either.
Right.
It's like, so it could be, the probability could be even more minuscule.
Right. Well, it's like there's a Babylon Bee headline that was like, CDC stops vaccination after people take, like 3 people who took it fell down a manhole. Like,
nice.
And it's like, well, if that is the threshold by which we are measuring the danger of these vaccinations.
Oh yeah.
we should take a close look at all the other vaccinations. We've touched on this topic before. I did some quick math, punched some numbers.
Did you?
And the number of vaccine injuries for all the other vaccines that people take, like influenza and all the other ones, is a lot higher than 6 out of 7 million. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah,
it's still incredibly low. But
you have a greater chance getting struck by lightning than having those type of effects from a COVID vaccine shot.
Right. So. And it's just like, what the heck? Yeah. I hope Johnson & Johnson can pull through this. I'd hate to see the stress affect their relationship, and then we might just have, they split into two separate organizations like Johnson and Johnson.
One Johnson might get bigger than the other,
right? And then you have to be like, well, who gets to keep the tear-free children's shampoo, and who gets to keep the? I don't. Honestly, that's the only thing I can think of. I literally can't think of anything else.
Just
I know
say
they do
shampoo
baby
and
powder. Vaccines. That's all I know. Oh, there you go. Who gets to keep the baby powder? Who gets to keep the children's shampoo?
Well,
I don't know.
The bigger Johnson.
Could be really messy. Yeah. All I know is I'm going to be holding my Johnson just a little bit closer.
And then you get to be the one to determine whether or not you edit that out later.
No, I'm just pushing forward.
Just going to let it roll.
I'm just going to wave my flag. Oh, speaking of which, you want to take this next one?
Sure. Why not? Wow. What to say about this? This is a picture of a flag. And it's just like a flag that you would hang outside your home, just like in one of those flag holders there. The title of this flag is Chihuahua Police Dog Thin Blue Line Christian Cross Flag. And if you're thinking that's a lot of concepts to try and fit into your standard size flag, boy, you'd be proven wrong, because they did it marvelously with this attempt. This is the flag has a chihuahua. It takes up a decent amount of the flag. A picture of a chihuahua looking just looking up in awe at this glowing cross in the corner of the flag, this glowing blue cross. Meanwhile, apparently it's behind an American flag, a black and white American flag, where one of the stripes are blue to represent the thin blue line, our police force. And it's as if somebody, I think it's a gloved hand, it looks like Mickey Mouse or something. There's Mickey Mouse's hand or something. Is kind of a weird hand. Is pulling back the flag so that we can see this chihuahua staring lovingly at the Christian cross. There's so much going on in this flag, and I just don't. I admire it, and I'm bewildered by it at the same time. It is truly a work of art that you'd have to be just high as a kite to visualize something like this all at once. Maybe parts of it here and there, but all at once.
It's pretty incredible, and honestly, I want one, and I want it in my front yard because it is.
If you get this flag, you are inviting me over, because I will stare lovingly at it.
I still have my. I still have my Camacho 2020 yard sign.
Well, that's
from the election.
That's fantastic.
I'm still holding out hope that the Supreme Court will overthrow the.
Oh man,
the election.
What cracks me up, and I don't know where you took the screenshot for this, but there are over. At the time this shot was taken, there are over 5,600 reviews of this Chihuahua Police Dog Thin Blue Line Christian Cross flag.
Yes.
And it has, I want to say, almost a flawless rating of almost 5 stars. It's almost like
4.96.
4.96. That means out of those people that reviewed it, there was just a handful of people with just some slight dissatisfaction of having a Chihuahua police dog, thin blue line, Christian cross flag not represented the way that they would have imagined it.
You're basically as likely to leave a bad review on this Chihuahua police dog, thin blue line, Christian cross flag as you are to get blood clots from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
That's pretty much
it is that flawless of a.
It's shaping up to be those odds. That really is
average review. I love this so much. As I was saying, I've got my Camacho 2020, Camacho being the president from Idiocracy, flag, yard sign, and I'm getting ready to take it down. I still get people. I've had a couple people stop by and even take pictures of the front of our house, and I'm like, why are people doing that? That's weird. And then I'm like, oh,
then you
it's
remember
the Camacho flag.
It's the Camacho sign.
So I need to get rid of that, and I think this would be the perfect transition piece to replace it, because it's beautiful. It's like the Spider-Man 3 of flags, where it's just trying to cram a little too much.
It's just
into
too busy.
One thing.
It's too busy, and by being too busy, it kind of loses the impact that it might have had.
yeah. It's a little bit like trying to cram Venom, the Sandman, and the Hobgoblin all into one movie.
I love it.
It's the thin blue line, Chihuahua for some reason, and the Christian cross, and it's it's a work of art. It really is. It's gorgeous.
So good.
So I'm all for it. Honestly, I think it's fantastic.
I am on board.
All right, this next one is kind of similar in religious theme. So it's a photo of a man holding a sign, and he's got a cross in the background, and his face is replaced by somebody photoshopped Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's face over whoever this was originally.
Yeah, that original guy, man, those shoulders are not nearly as broad or buff as they should be.
It's definitely, and it's different skin tone and everything. It's a white dude's body.
It's true.
Ironically, it's a white dude's body with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's face, which actually ties perfectly into the theme of the sign he's holding, which again was also photoshopped, and it says, "In the Bible, there is no white or black church. Jesus did not come to save skin, but to save souls." And okay, I agree with the sentiment there, but I feel like maybe there's a better way to get your message across than to put Dwayne Johnson's face on a white, skinny dude's body. It just feels weird. Then again, maybe they're secretly a genius, because you know what just happened? We just shared their message.
We talked about it.
Okay, maybe, you're playing 4D chess there, buddy. I dig it.
Maybe whoever created this really felt compelled to minister to the wrestling community,
What if it really was Dwayne Johnson? What if Dwayne Johnson put his face on this and shared it, and that is where it comes from?
Oh.
Ever think about that? I would totally do that. If I was a celebrity, I would make the crappiest memes like this and just throw my face on there, and people would be like, well, celebrity, famous actor and author and former president Chris Cowan never said that. And then I would secretly be smiling from behind my computer screen saying, "Oh, yes, I did, but nobody will ever know."
That would be time well spent, Cowan.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to be doing. And then I will lean back in
strictly for your amusement.
I'll lean back in my sofa and pet my cat.
Right.
While I laugh maniacally to myself.
Excellent.
All my plans are coming to fruition. I'll get you, Inspector Gadget.
First the memes, then the world.
Yeah. Can I just say the Matthew Broderick Inspector Gadget was one of the most disappointing movies ever.
Well, sir, you know what? The fact that you even took the time to watch it, that's on you. That's on you.
I was a kid. What do you
Because
want?
well, that's true. I guess it did come out like a long time ago.
Yeah.
right when Matthew Broderick was hitting that Godzilla fame, that's when.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's maybe tied for Godzilla, but I think it surpasses it because I wasn't going into Godzilla expecting the human characters to have any particular persona, but
But here we are.
Inspector Gadget has a certain personality and character, and Matthew Broderick has one personality and one voice, and it is not Inspector Gadget.
No,
and I'm still hurting from that. And what's his name, Professor Claw or whatever?
Who played Professor Claw?
I don't remember his name. He's got the just most gorgeous, piercing blue eyes, and you'd recognize him if you saw him. But I don't remember his name. And
Ray Fiennes.
He is not a good Dr. Claw or whatever, because Dr. Claw, you never saw his face.
No,
in the cartoons, and he always had like the deep voice.
Next time, Gadget.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
He had to. It sounded like he smoked like just 10 packs a day.
Right.
His whole life.
And this guy was not it.
Great. So the whole movie was completely miscast. That's
no, and it's such a bummer because it could have been just great. Like Jim Carrey could have done it. Anybody but freaking Matthew. I talk like this all the time, and I'm kind of just like your
go Gadget monotone.
Yeah. I'll be your guy for any milquetoast characters you want. So definitely an action-packed character like Professor Gadget.
Hey, my arms shoot out with springs. Isn't that zany?
Yeah. Oof. All right. Anyway, I'm still, as you can tell, I'm still.
Man,
talk to my therapist about that.
That was a heartfelt offshoot. I like that.
I'm still hurting by that. Like I couldn't even tell you which is more disappointing, Last Jedi or Inspector Gadget. Like it's that bad.
Come on now. Look, Inspector Gadget wasn't that bad.
No. Oh. Like in terms of damage to the source material,
to the property,
like
property damage,
right?
Yeah,
maybe not like mass, like body count, like mass, and not in terms of casualties overall body count wise, but just in terms of like proportionate to the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars will recover just fine, but Inspector Gadget just never.
No, it never did. That was the final nail.
It really was. All right, moving along.
Ugh, that's problematic.
All right, this is the final segment of our show, and it's the part where we chose that random topic at the end. The Wheel of Problematic chose it for us, and we are going to now decide what's problematic about it, because it's never a question of whether it's problematic. We just know that it is, and all you have to do is dig deep enough. And so we always like to put this out to our Facebook group, I'm really on a roll tonight.
You're doing great.
The Stunning and Brave Autonomous Zone, or the SBAZ. Look it up on Facebook and feel free to join.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Yes. All right. So we put it out to the group, our think tank, and we asked what's problematic about actors. And CJ starts off with a great point. They are just professional liars. Oh. Acting is just getting paid to lie. That's a great point.
Yeah, they are pretending to be somebody that they really aren't.
Oh, snap.
Dishonest. Let's see. Robert says, oh, you mean besides all the scandals and bad tweets?
Ooh.
Shots fired.
Yes, always getting canceled for anything they say. Jacob says they tell you what to think, which is good. Unless they tell you to think for yourself, which means they are probably a secret Nazi.
That's true.
That's probably true.
If they don't engage in groupthink, watch out.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Bradley says, what's wrong with actors? Their close relationship with pond scum.
Ooh.
And then he follows up. Man, this was below the belt, Bradley. He follows it up with not as bad as voice actors though, and he just happened to tag myself and Chris on that one. So I don't know what you're trying to say, Bradley.
I've got something to say to you, Bradley. That was so mean. There's only one response.
Sorry, you did not reveal yourself to be human. Goodbye.
That's right. That's right. Goodbye.
Yeah. So for those not in the know, Nate and I are both voice actors on the side, and that just hurts. That's hurtful. That's hurtful, Bradley. Jeremy says they aren't woke enough for this podcast, and that's true, but that's only because nobody's woken up.
No one is,
podcast.
Right? Yeah. I mean, nobody is.
Exactly.
So you can try. Many have tried. Many have failed. Let's see. Another Chris says, historically, men were referred to as actors and women actresses. So it's misogynistic. We really need to start using the gender neutral, and he spells out ACTXRS. I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually a thing, but I'm going to guess he's going for a joke on this one.
Yeah, actors, I guess.
Actors.
Well, that is kind of a thing because they don't really refer to women as actresses anymore.
Right.
They just use the term actors for both men and women as a gender neutral thing. And some people will be offended if you dare to use the word actresses to refer to a woman. Okay, whatever. Okay, Jan, whatever. That's just like such a petty, meaningless thing to quibble about. Like, just actors. Well, it's only relevant if you think there's no distinction between men and women. And so if you really think there's no difference between men and women, then any phrase that might emphasize that distinction, that might differentiate between them is somehow offensive. And so it's just on its face, it's just ignorant and anti-science and stupid. So, and that's me holding back.
That's you just being restrained. Good for you.
Amanda says you can never tell if they're telling the truth and being real. Plus, they make out with other people and get paid to do it. That's if they're lucky.
That's
if
they're good looking.
Well, I just meant the paid to do it part, like, because there's, you can be in like community theater and not get paid to do it.
Well, that's true, but that's true. But if you're a professional actor and you're making out, you're getting paid to do it, and
that's true.
And chances are good you're pretty decent looking. I don't think
maybe.
I don't think many makeout scenes have been given to Danny DeVito,
or you're on a reality TV show, and
reality TV show, and then that's a whole other level.
We've been watching. It's 90 Day Fiance, the single life. It's like
I was going to say, what now? My 2,000 pound sister? Like what?
Right. No.
Which one are you watching?
It's called 90 Day Fiance, the single life, and it's like after the 90 Day Fiance thing didn't pan out. They're now single and they're looking for love and looking to move on. And there's this one guy who is, I'm just rooting for him. He does not seem to have a neck, but I'm just rooting for him because I don't know. He's insecure, but golly, I think he has a heart of gold. I don't think he actually does, but I'm just rooting for him anyways because he's the underdog.
He's probably a really creepy person deep down inside, but still, you want the guy to find love.
Yeah. But yeah, actors clearly, I think the verdict is in. Actors are very problematic. And they should be banned. Plus, you got to think about the fact that like anytime an actor is playing a different character, that is essentially some form of appropriation.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter what they're playing.
Character represents. Obviously, there's the more obvious examples, such as maybe in the past, one actor playing a character that does not share their ethnicity, but maybe there was like a male actor playing a cartoon female. Frank Oz, I'm looking at you with that Miss Piggy scandal.
Oh,
not okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping they go back and they redub every Muppet movie ever made.
I think it's only fair. It's only equitable. Or like Matthew Broderick playing a good actor. Stuff like that is
right.
Is really, you're just appropriating whatever culture it is that you are impersonating.
He couldn't even do that right.
Right. So I actually did see him in one thing as like a teenager. This was I think it was pre-Ferris Bueller. And
pre-Ferris Bueller.
It was like some stage play that was filmed. And I was like, okay, that was pretty good. And I can see why he had a career.
That guy is going to the Oscars.
But I have no idea why he was chosen ever for anything else the rest of his life. I don't understand it.
They should have made like 10 Ferris Bueller movies and just left it at that. He would have done great playing that character again and again.
I'm surprised they haven't brought that back yet. That's got to be on the radar, on someone's radar, is to do a Ferris Bueller
I'm
all
sure
grown
tried.
Up thing. That's coming. It's going to be some kind of like Netflix or Amazon original, and it'll happen. I guarantee it.
True.
But so that's the real problem is it's you're appropriating whatever it is, so they shouldn't have any able-bodied actors playing differently abled people. They shouldn't have any non-athletic actors playing athletic, or vice versa.
Very true. Any character acting is done out the door.
Yeah, really. That's if you have to act,
I'm looking at you, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, you jerk.
Try to play Lincoln when we all know that Lincoln is dead.
Yeah. Come on, only Lincoln should play Lincoln. Otherwise, it's appropriation. Yeah, or having like non-elves play elves, that kind of thing. It's just really
good point. Yeah,
it's offensive to it's offensive to elf culture.
Yeah, well, they've got a pretty good union.
Yeah, I think so. What's probably going to happen at some point. Here's a prediction as a futurist. Here is what is actually going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to get to the point where it will basically be at that level, where like actors, it will be politically incorrect for actors to play any part that is not essentially identical to who they are as a person in their real life.
Yeah.
And as a result, companies will simply transition into completely CGI, artificial intelligent characters, including the voice acting and everything will be completely manufactured so as not to offend anyone.
They're going to type the script into Google and just have them have a computer say the lines, huh?
Right.
Well, that's scary and depressing to think of.
And I think it would be amazing if they like accidentally fed the computer algorithm like a bunch of like blaxploitation films from the 70s, and like, okay, this will be an accurate representation.
Oh no.
And then they'll just have like the most offensive stereotypes.
I was going to say, what happens if you have an AI analyze all of those grindhouse films and make their own movie?
Oh man, that would be. I would watch that. I would.
Dude. I'd tell you, I'd pay money to see it. I would
totally watch that.
I love it.
Oh man, it would probably just basically be Samuel L. Jackson, I guess, is what it would be.
The computer would sound a lot like Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah,
and just say the most horrific stuff.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we are out of time as always. for this episode of Stunning and Brave. So thank you so much for joining us. We love you. You are a part of our family. You've been adopted. You don't get to say no because you're a minor and you're just in the family now. And you'll have to just either wait till you turn 18 and can move out of this household with your bigoted, ignorant parents, Nate and myself, or you'll have to get a judge to rule that you can secede from the family. But until then,
messy.
You are part of this family. And you will obey our rules. And this is my house. I feed you. I'm getting carried away here.
Yeah, wow. You're really going down a rabbit hole.
This really took a turn. What I meant to say is I love you and I support you and anything you do. And you know, if you set your mind to it, well, you could accomplish just about anything in life.
Also, rent is due. So
yeah. So I hope you got your paycheck from In-N-Out this week. So, all right, we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
If you're not telling everyone about this show, you're probably a potophobe and a Nazi. Don't be a potophobe. Tell your friends and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you subscribe.